Okay, real talk. A few years ago, I made one of the dumbest money mistakes of my life. I got a $1,200 bonus at work, which honestly felt like winning the lottery at the time. And do you know what I did with it? I bought a TV I didn't need, upgraded my phone 6 months early, grabbed some new clothes, and took a spontaneous weekend trip. I just looked up one day and it was gone, like it evaporated. And if you've ever had that feeling, that weird mix of guilt and confusion when money just disappears, then you already know you need this video. Because what I didn't know back then was something I'm going to teach you today. It's called the $1,000 rule. And no, it's not some complicated investment strategy. So stick with me for the next 20 minutes. We're going to break this down into 5 clear sections. By the time this video is over, you'll know exactly what the $1,000 rule is, why it works, and most importantly, how to actually use it starting today. No jargon, no fluff, just the stuff that actually matters. Let's get into it. Before we jump in, let me give you a quick roadmap so you know exactly where we're going. We're going to cover 5 big ideas today. We're going to talk about what the $1,000 rule actually is, because there's a specific, simple definition here. Real talk about money, what it is, and once you hear it, you'll never think about money the same way again. We're going to talk about why your brain fights you on this, because honestly, the biggest obstacle.
Your brain to building wealth isn't your income, it's your psychology, and we're going to fix that.
We'll walk through exactly how to set up the $1,000 rule in your own life, step by step. How to set it up. Like actually open your bank app, here's what you do. After $1,000, in fact, that's where it gets really exciting. We're going to talk about the most common mistakes people make when they try this.
Common mistakes, and how to avoid every single one of them. Sound good? Great.
Let's start at the beginning. What is the $1,000 rule? Okay, so here it is. The $1,000 rule, in one sentence. Have $1,000 saved. Before you spend money on anything that isn't a necessity.
You must have at least $1,000 saved that you cannot touch.
And it is, but the implications are massive. Not rent. You must have $1,000 sitting in a savings account that is off limits. Not $1,000 total. Not $1,000 in your checking account that you probably won't spend. A specific $1,000 that has one job and one job only to be your financial floor. Now, some of you might be thinking, that's just an emergency fund. I've heard of that. And you're kind of right. But here's where the $1,000 rule is different from just save some money. The $1,000 rule is less about the money itself and more about the decision-making framework it creates. You spend a little on food and fun, and then you maybe put whatever's left over into savings, which, let's be honest, is usually not much or nothing at all. That's called saving last, and it almost never works because there's never anything left. No debt. The $1,000 rule flips that completely upside down. It says your $1,000 comes first, before eating out, before the new sneakers, before the concert tickets, before any of it. The $1,000 is non-negotiable. And once you have it, it doesn't just sit there doing nothing. It does 3 very important things. First, it protects you. Life is unpredictable. Your car breaks down, your phone dies, you get hit with an unexpected bill. These are just inconveniences. You handle it, you replenish the fund, and you move on. No credit card swipe, no panic, no setback. Second, it changes how you make decisions. This is the part most people don't talk about. When you know you have $1,000 saved, you stop making decisions from a place of desperation. You stop buying things just because you're stressed. You stop saying yes to things because you're afraid the money will disappear anyway.
You start operating from a place of stability, and that changes everything about the choices you make.
Third, it builds the muscle. Saving your first $1,000 is the hardest, not because of the math is easy, but because it requires you to build a habit you've probably never had before, and once you build that habit with $1,000, it gets easier to do it again. Now here's your first actionable step for this section. Right now, or tonight when you finish this video, I want you to open a notes app on your phone. Rent, utilities, subscriptions, insurance, phone, whatever you have to pay every month. Monthly income. And write down this exact number. Your monthly take-home income minus your fixed monthly bills. Subtract all of that from your monthly income. What's left? That's your breathing room. And that's the money we're going to work with to build your $1,000. We'll come back to this number in section 3. Okay, so now you know what the rule is, and you're probably nodding along thinking, yeah, okay, that makes sense. 60% can't cover $1,000. But here's the thing, if it were that simple, everyone would already have $1,000 saved. That's not because people don't know they should save. It's because something keeps getting in the way. I'm not saying that to be harsh. I'm saying it because understanding why this is hard is actually the key to making it easier. So let me walk you through 3 psychological traps that stop people from ever reaching $1,000 and how to beat each one. Your brain is wired to value things that feel good right now way more than things that feel good later. Scientists call this present bias, and it is absolutely brutal for personal finance. When you're standing in a store and you see something you want, your brain lights up. Dopamine fires. Everything in you says, yes, now this. But saving money, that reward is invisible. It's future you who benefits. And your brain is basically like, future you is not my problem. The way to beat present bias is to make saving feel immediate. And the best way to do that is automation. When saving happens automatically, without you ever having to make a choice, your brain doesn't get a vote. We'll talk about exactly how to set that up in the next section. The I'll start mentality. This one is sneaky. It sounds responsible, but it's actually a trap. I'll start saving when I get a raise. I'll start when I pay off this credit card. I'll start when things calm down a little. The problem is when almost never comes, because life doesn't calm down. Expenses don't disappear. There's always something. The truth is, you don't need perfect circumstances to start building your $1,000. You need to start right now with whatever you have. Even if that means saving $20 a week, even $10, the amount matters less than the habit you're building. $20 a week gets you to $1,000 in about a year. That might feel slow, but here's what I promise you. A year from now, you are either going to have that $1,000 or you're not. The clock is already ticking either way. This is the sneakiest one of all. Lifestyle creep is what happens when your income goes up and somehow your expenses go up right alongside it. You get a raise. Suddenly you're eating out more. You upgrade your apartment. You buy a nicer car. And at the end of a month, you still have nothing left over, even though you're making more money than you ever have. This happens to almost everyone, and it happens gradually, which is what makes it so dangerous. Income and expenses rise together. The $1,000 rule combats lifestyle creep by establishing a floor before a ceiling. Income and expenses rise together. Your actionable step, identify your one biggest money trap. Is it impulse spending? Is it the I'll start when mentality? Is it lifestyle creep? Just pick one, write it down, name it, because you can't fight what you can't see. And once you name it, you can start building a system that accounts for it. That's what we're doing in the next section. All right, this is the section where we get practical. No more theory. Let's actually build this thing. Here's the step-by-step process for setting up the $1,000 rule in your life. Step 1. Open a separate savings account. This is non-negotiable. Your $1,000 cannot live in your checking account. Why? Because if it's in your checking account, you will spend it. It's too easy to transfer, too easy to borrow from, too easy to pretend doesn't count.
You need a separate savings account, ideally at a different bank from your main checking account.
The slight inconvenience of transferring money between 2 different banks is actually a feature, not a bug. That small friction slows you down just enough to make intentional decisions. A lot of people love high-yield savings accounts for this exact purpose. You can find some offering around 4 to 5% interest right now, which means your money is actually growing while it sits there. A quick Google search for best high-yield savings account will show you current options. Many have no fees and no minimums to open. Step 2. Calculate your savings number. First, take your income and calculate 10%. Remember that breathing room number you wrote down in section 1? Your income minus your fixed bills? We're going to use that now. Take that number and multiply it by 10%. That's your weekly or monthly savings target to start. So if you have $800 left over after bills each month, 10% is $80 a month. That's it. That's your starting point. Now, can you do more? Great, do more. But $80 a month gets you to $1,000 in about 12 to 13 months. That's completely achievable. Can't do 10%? Then do 5%. Can't do 5%? Find $10 a week. There is almost always something, even when it doesn't feel like it. We're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for momentum. Automate it. This is the most important step and the one most people skip. Automate it. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your new savings account. Automate it. Set it to go out the day after you get paid, or even the same day if you can. Why? Because what you never see, you never miss. When the money moves automatically, you're not making a daily decision to save. You're not fighting your own brain. The system does it for you. What you don't see, this is the single most powerful thing you can do to build wealth. Not finding some hot stock tip, not some complicated strategy. What you don't see is just automating a small, consistent transfer so that saving happens before spending. Open account tonight. Most bank apps let you set this up in under 5 minutes. If yours doesn't, you can usually log into your savings bank's web. Once that money is moving into your savings account, you need to treat it like it is gone. Not gone, but gone for spending purposes. This means no dipping into it for dinner with friends. No, I'll just borrow from it and pay it back. No, it's basically an emergency, right? The only real emergencies, car breaks down and you need it to get to work. Medical bill, job loss, genuine, life-disrupting emergencies. That's it. And even then, your first priority after tapping it is to replenish it. Your actionable step here is the most important one in this whole video. Tonight, open a high-yield savings account. Set up an automatic transfer for whatever amount you calculated, even if it's small. Do it now, while you're motivated, because motivation fades and systems last. Seriously, pause the video, go do it, then come back. Balance hits $1,000. Section 4. What happens after your first $1,000? Okay, so you've done the work. You've set up the account. You've automated the transfers. A few months go by, and one day you check your balance and you see it, $1,000. I want you to really sit in that feeling for a second, because it is significant. Not because $1,000 makes you rich, it doesn't. But because you just proved something to yourself that most people never prove, that you build savings, that you can delay gratification, that you are someone who saves money. But okay, now what? Here's where the $1,000 rule expands into something bigger, and there are 3 directions you can take it. Direction 1, expand your emergency fund. Most financial experts recommend having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved as a full emergency fund. Your $1,000 is the floor, the foundation. Now you build on it. Using the same system, same automated transfers, same mindset, you work toward 3 months of expenses. This is your true financial safety net. This is the level where a job loss doesn't become a crisis, where a big unexpected expense is handled without debt. Take your monthly expenses and multiply by 3. That's your target. Keep automating until you get there. Direction 2, attack your debt. If you're carrying high interest debt, here's the simple strategy. Keep your $1,000 safety net where it is and redirect any extra money you can find toward your highest credit cards especially. Your next move is to turn your savings momentum toward knocking that out. Interest debt first. Pay minimums on everything else. Throw everything extra at the debt with the highest interest rate. Here's the simple strategy. Keep your $1,000 safety net where it is and redirect any extra money you can find toward your highest. This is called the avalanche method, and it saves you the most money and interest over time. Every dollar you send to that debt is earning you the equivalent of whatever interest rate you're paying. If your credit card charges 22%, paying it down. Once you have your emergency fund and your high interest debt is gone, it's time to start making your money work for you. And I know investing sounds scary or complicated if you've never done it, but at its most basic level, it doesn't have to be. The single most beginner-friendly starting point is contributing to a retirement account. If your employer offers a 401k with a match, that is free money and you should contribute at least enough to get the full match. And I know investing sounds scary or complicated if you've never done it, but at its most basic level, it doesn't have to be. The key idea here is compound growth. When you invest money, it grows. Then the growth also grows. Then that grows. Over decades, this creates a snowball effect that turns modest, consistent contributions into genuinely life-changing wealth. The person who starts investing $200 a month at age 25 ends up with dramatically more money at retirement than someone who starts investing $400 a month at 40. Time is the most powerful variable in the equation, and the earlier you start, the more time you have. Your actionable step for this section, write down which of these 3 directions applies to you right now. Do you need to build your emergency fund from $1,000 to 3 months of expenses? Do you have high interest debt you need to attack? Or are you ready to start investing? You don't have to do all 3 at once. Just identify where you are, pick one direction, and keep the momentum going. 5 mistakes. Section 5, the mistakes that derail people. Okay, we're almost there. But before I let you go, I want to talk about the 5 most common mistakes people make when they try. 5 mistakes. Mistake number 1, keeping the money in your main account. We already talked about this, but it's worth repeating. Keep your savings separate. Different account, different bank if possible. Out of sight, out of reach, out of mind, until you actually need it. Mistake number 2, setting the amount too high to start. Sometimes people hear save money and they try to go from $0 to saving $500 a month overnight. And when life makes that impossible, which it will, they give up entirely and save nothing. Start embarrassingly small if you have to. $25 a month, $10 a week, whatever you can genuinely commit to right now. It's not about the amount, it's about building the habit. Mistake number 3, dipping into savings for non-emergencies. This drains your emergency fund and can lead to financial trouble. This is a slow killer. It's just this once. I'll put it back. This is kind of an emergency. No, a sale at your favorite store is not an emergency. A concert you really want to go to is not an emergency. A friend's birthday trip is not an emergency. Guard your $1,000 like it's the most important thing in your financial life, because right now, it is. Every time you protect it, you reinforce that you are someone who keeps their financial commitments. Every time you rate it, you chip away at that identity. Mistake number 4, not having a plan for when you hit $1,000. Some people reach their goal, feel great, and then just stop. The account sits at $1,000 for years, untouched and unmoved, which is fine, but it's a missed opportunity to keep building. Mistake number 5, comparing your journey to other people's. This is less about strategy and more about mindset, but it might be the most important one. Social media makes it look like everyone around you is traveling, eating at nice restaurants, and living their best life. And it's really hard to stick to a savings plan when... Here's the truth. You have no idea what other people's financial situations actually look like. A lot of people who look wealthy are heavily in debt. A lot of people who seem carefree are one emergency away from a financial crisis. You're not building this for Instagram. You're building it for your actual future. For the version of you that can handle whatever life throws at them without panicking. For the version of you that's option is worth every small sacrifice you make today. Your actionable step, identify the one mistake from this list that you're most likely to make. Just one. And write down one specific way you're going to prevent it. Maybe it's setting up a second bank account. Maybe it's lowering your automatic transfer amount to something more sustainable. Maybe it's deleting a certain app from your phone for a while. All right, let's bring this home. Here's what we covered today. We talked about what the $1,000 rule actually is, your financial floor, the foundation everything else is built on. We talked about why your brain fights you on this, and the 3 traps, present bias, the I'll start when mentality, and lifestyle creep. We walked through the exact steps to set it up. Separate account, automated transfers, protecting it like it's precious. Because it is. We talked about what happens after $1,000. Building your emergency fund, attacking debt, and starting to invest. And we covered the 5 mistakes that derail people, so you can sidestep every single one of them. Here's my challenge to you. Not a big, overwhelming challenge. Just this. Before you go to sleep tonight, take one action from this video. Open the savings account. Write down your breathing room number. Set up the automatic transfer. Just one thing. Because here's what I know to be true. The gap between where you are financially and where you want to be is not a knowledge gap. And if you want more beginner-friendly money videos like this, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. See you on the inside.